Research is an essential aspect of human life as it plays a crucial role in expanding knowledge, solving problems and making informed decisions. Researchers from over 40 countries and world-renowned authors recently converged in South Africa to share their experiences. For more on the conference that ended yesterday, I'm joined by Professor Mfanelo Ntsobi, Deputy Chairman of the Local Organising Committee of the WCQR. Prof, very good evening. Appreciate your time. Now, you've made history by hosting the first ever conference in Africa. Could you elaborate on the significance of choosing Africa as the host continent and how it aligns with the conference's goals?
Good evening, and let me extend my greetings to the viewers as well. This is a remarkable achievement for us as African scholars. This conference happened over a couple of days, starting on the 23rd and officially closing on the 25th, which is yesterday, the official conference. And then today and tomorrow, we started with the social part of the program. As I was saying, it's important for us as South African scholars because it gives us an opportunity to promote Southern epistemologies so as to give expression to indigenous knowledge systems, especially using indigenous knowledge system for research inquiry. We had good attendance at the conference. In fact, we oversubscribed. We expected around 150 participants. We had over 240 participants coming from various parts of the globe. We had participants coming from Brunei, from Brazil, India, Russia, Poland, and our colleagues from Africa, from the continent, as we were hosting for the first time Zambia. I'm aware that Zimbabwe was there. In fact, Zimbabwe brought 4 universities to the conference. Eswatini was also at the conference, and many other countries, including the USA, and I would have mentioned India.
Now, you've talked about global collaboration, which is what the conference emphasizes. So clearly, this was the order of the day, detailing the number of countries that participated. Let's talk about some of the key takeaways from this conference.
Look, we had key speakers on very interesting topics. First of all, the conference it's an annual event where scholars, policymakers, even practitioners gather to exchange ideas, experiences on new trends on qualitative research methods and mixed methods. There was provision for mixed methods. On the first day of the conference, we were graced with the presence of the Premier of Gauteng Province, who opened the conference, but also emphasized on the need to collaborate with scholars as a way to inform research-based decision-making. And on the last day, we had the MEC for Education and Youth Development in Gauteng also giving a message of support to the conference. Among the key speakers, we had Professor Aseli Rosario from the Philippines, who's a guru in qualitative research. We had King Costa himself, who is also a mixed method guru, qualitative research guru, as well as a research coach. We also had, I know one of the sessions featured online some of the leading scholars in qualitative research, such as Johnny Saldana. The conference, by the way, was taking place in 2 countries at the same time. It was in Portugal, in Azores, and Johannesburg in South Africa. There was also provision for online participation. And post-conference, we are coming with a very solid program as African scholars. We'll be having a series of research dialogues, which will be taking place online, but we're also using the Saibono Discovery Center multimedia broadcasting platform as a way to collaborate. Oh, I must not forget, we also had a very interesting input by the former President of the Republic, Dr. Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka, on women, youth, and human rights. It was quite exciting indeed for all the researchers and policymakers.
So when we talk about research, it seems complex for the average person. How does research impact the average citizen in this country? What aspects of research that would then affect their lives in one way or the other?
I'm glad that you are raising this question because that was the aim as well of this conference, just to demystify the notion that research is difficult and complex and not everybody can be involved in research. We are simplifying it. We are simplifying research such that we're looking at introducing research, elementary research skills even in schools. But secondly, we want to introduce research to impact on lower level, including service delivery level. We had an opportunity to engage with scholars, people who have written a lot on research, who have coached and taught a lot on research, and primarily we're looking at all aspects of research as part of education. And we would know that knowledge is acquired through education. So we were trying to ground scholars to understand that knowledge is acquired from various approaches. One, we emphasize the need to understand factual knowledge, the need to understand conceptual knowledge, how these concepts work in a domain. Also, procedures that are applied in applying knowledge. And lastly, it would be metacognition for scholars to understand how they know what they claim to know. So that is the process that we had embarked upon. But even basic research skills were shared with scholars at this level. It did not matter whether you are a practitioner, you are an advanced scholar in research. All the scholars found this conference comfortable and they were able to participate in various levels.
So, Prof, you talk about, so there's obviously a fair amount of advocacy around creating awareness on the simplicity or the day-to-day usage of research. And you speak of scholars. It almost makes one think that you had 240 professors there present at the conference. Is this the level of scholar that you're speaking of, or was it across multiple levels?
Multiple levels, you are correct. But the majority of the participants at the conference would have been people who are busy with their master's degrees, those who are PhDs already, including a number of professors, as well as leaders in government. We had the Director General of the province of Gauteng participating at the conference. We had directors in government, we had business leaders, including other partners like Da Vinci School of Technology Management. We had Matthew Goniwe School of Leadership and Governance. Scholars from Matthew Goniwe were there. The provincial government was also participating. But on the social program, we were also supported by Gauteng Tourism Authority. And on the security aspects, we were supported by Gauteng Community Safety.
Now, is this research amongst multiple fields, or were there certain areas, certain fields that you primarily focused on, Professor?
Well, it is multiple fields, but there are certain areas that were prominent at the conference. For instance, qualitative research in health, qualitative research in engineering. You would have assumed that engineering falls in the discipline of natural sciences, but there's an element of what informs what people do. So it's important that the human factor is also included as part of research. There was research in education, in public policy. For instance, in health, we had a very strong stakeholder here from Sefako Mahajo School of Health Services. We had many scholars coming from that school. We had scholars coming from public universities in South Africa. A lot of universities were involved. Also, we had scholars coming from private universities.
So let's talk about health. I think health for me certainly is a crucial aspect, primarily because we've got issues around COVID-19 a few years ago that would have impacted most South Africans. The issues around cholera, there have been a number of outbreaks, I think, on the back end of last year. Are these some of the areas that researchers would look at when they're looking at health?
We're looking at that, but primarily we're also looking at policy. You would recall during COVID, everybody, public, relied on researchers for solutions. There was a lot of research that went into solutions that came as a response to COVID-19. But the focus in the main for this conference was on policy. We had a very brilliant paper on the NHI in South Africa. And these are some of the lessons that we are taking home. I think the emphasis here was that we need, as scholars, as policymakers, as practitioners, we need to develop solutions for problems that are affecting us, complex problems affecting society. We need to come with these solutions. But because we are Africans, we had said we need to support promoting home-based research, continental-based research in the promotion of Southern epistemologists and indigenous knowledge systems.
So final thoughts, Professor, is where is the link between the amount of research that you come up with and government? Because by and large, the implementing partner or implementing party in many of these areas, I'd imagine, would be the government.
Not only government, other institutions as well, but of course, government becomes a key stakeholder, especially in the area of policy. So what we are encouraging for our government to do, or for various governments to do, is to rely on research to find solutions. Research-driven solutions would assist society. Data-driven solutions would assist society. So we are looking forward to future collaborations with some of these stakeholders, including government, as we try to find knowledge, as we try to create knowledge, as well as resolving the complex problems facing our governments.
Professor, I appreciate your time. Professor Mfanelo Ntsobi, Deputy Chairperson of the Local Organising Committee of the WCQR.